Okay, we're going to see if we can make this recording from VR chat while I control the desktop with various overlays in OBS Studio. So first thing we need to do is fix the light. So we've got this sort of sunlight here, and I can direct that in some pleasing manner. I don't know where to put it exactly. Maybe up there in that direction, and then you can take this other light that's kind of invisible. Whoops. Okay. And hold it somewhere here. I've got a view of the OBS Studio which keeps capturing my sort of laser pointers and stuff. So anyway, we're just going to go through what I've been doing for feels like months and months and months, trying to 3D print this TPU, which has been an ongoing battle because you have to do one tiny piece at a time. Let's see if this, hold on, let's get the view. Right, so yeah, as I probably showed before, we had that piece that was glued together from 6 pieces, and it was then spray painted and then painted on the corners, and I've got some sort of coating to add on to it as well to make it a little protected. I've been carrying this around on my backpack for the last few weeks. Nobody really knows what it is, but I kind of like it, and it's been subject to all the weather and doesn't seem to be suffering too much. Here's various prints. This is someone else's print that went wrong one day. This is a print that's gone well. Usually you have to do only 1 or 2 tufts per day. I can do if I get access to this printer, and it takes hours. There's another one that's in work. That's if you have a good night or a good day and you come back to it and you got this little gift of 3 more tufts, which might be like some little piece here. As you see, there's looks like hundreds of tufts. At some point, I'll just count them from all the pieces I've got. I'll show you what it looks like in Blender. Shouldn't be too hard. Should have done it before I started talking. The thing at the top is a sort of little oven for the roll of thermoplastic polyurethane (TPU), which is the flexible filament that soaks up water and doesn't print so well if it's got any humidity and water in it, because it sort of boils in the spout when it's printing, apparently. Then that's an example of the gluing. So the thing that's actually made this TPU work really well is I can print it in all sorts of little pieces and stick it together using a substance called, there it is, a substance called Tetrahydrafuran. And it doesn't dissolve very much, but it's sort of enough. And you push it together, hold it together with lots of rubber bands and cable ties, and try and get it exactly in place. And then you sort of like brush a little bit of TPU, and brush a bit of that liquid onto the seam and hope it soaks in. And usually what it does is it makes it a little bit more slippy, and then thing just slips apart, and you spend ages trying to hold it back together and in the right position. That's why you need to wear those gloves because you get the stuff all over yourself otherwise. And I'm doing it outside just so the air can take the fumes away from me. And then the moment you got it in position, you just sort of leave it for an hour, and then you come back and it's stuck solid. So that's the thing that's really worked well. Is it going the right way? Yeah, I've started some other experiment with the foot beans. This was a quick and dirty print from a scan of my foot with a couple of beans stuck on the bottom. I tried wearing it to see if it made footprints. You can sort of see what is it? Look up there. Oh no. Oh, let's hold on. Let's move myself back. Okay. Right. You can sort of see there, pointing there. That's sort of like the front 2 toes, and there's the sort of the foot bean, and maybe I'd print some more toes on the outside, and we might be able to get a nice. How much time have I used it up? Okay, we might be able to get a nice like footprint from it. The sort of theory I've been explaining is, imagine if you what we're trying to do is avoid having having your heel hit the ground and thus make a sort of human-shaped footprint. And I was sort of thinking if you cut a tennis ball in half and fill it with solid resin and you glue it to the middle of the bottom of your shoe, you could probably walk around quite okay. You just land on that ball instead of landing on your heel and sort of roll around. It'd be like on a very short set of stilts, and then that would be the foot bean, and then the pushing off would be the toe beans, I guess. If I had my full body tracking, I could like stick my foot up in the air and show you what it means. But anyway, let's see. So meanwhile, here's another print going, and that's sort of the work in progress held up as almost one piece. There's another. Oh, this was a piece I did this morning. You'll notice that I'm taking each tuft and sort of printing it upwards, and it usually starts very tapered at the bottom with lots of support material so it doesn't fall over. If it's not wide enough there, the thing sort of wobbles as it goes up, and it winds up just printing on a stick instead of actually printing on the shape. But I tried printing something that was a bit more lying down, and it wind up with this terrible. It's all like blistered and stuff on the top because we're not so happy with making a gentle slope that's interacting with the gyroid filler something or other. It's sort of as the head comes around, it keeps sort of lifting the pieces up as it instead of pushing it down, and you wind up with like lumps everywhere. So that was a kind of a failure this morning. Yeah, that's kind of like assembled against the thing. Yes, the bit of paint at the top and the thing. It goes around quite a long way down my back. That's the half head that I did as a quick prototype. And anyway, it's just been ongoing, this 3D print. So what I'm going to do is pause and show a little bit of Blender if we can. There we go. Oh yeah, might as well show you the software. This is Creality software. It looks very similar to the Prusa software that we're. Oh, hold on, I don't want to move on that mouse. There we go. I want to do it on there. Yeah. So we can sort of rotate it around a bit, and then you sort of do the melt through. You can see the sort of the rough lines that I'm attempting to do it in. There should be filler in this, but it's not in this case. And then I've tended to go for this sort of crisscross pattern because it gives the most sort of strength of it. Yeah, let's pause that again. Yeah, here's your Blender, which is, zoom in. So each of these pieces, I had some pretty big pieces, but they're sort of predominantly flat. But these pieces here are very long and skinny and very difficult to print because you sort of have to print with that at the bottom, and it starts at just a point and sort of spreads out and then goes back in. And they take a long time to print and often fail. This is the one that failed earlier on. Now these ones towards the front get a real challenge because they sort of curve over, and this is the one I tried to print kind of like lying flat and made these surfaces terrible. So I'm going to have to like print it that way up in that direction. Yeah, at some point I'll count the number of pieces. Let me just quickly show you what was going on with the foot. Let's see. Yeah, here's the foot. This was sort of a scan of a foot here. Let's see. Yeah, you can see him rolling around. Is it? We have to hold that down. One of these moves the foot around. I forgot which. Yeah, there we go. That moves the foot around. Yeah, and what you do is you remove the foot. And what I'd done is I sort of traced up the bottom of the foot, sort of, the way you kind of retopologize. And the print found me out because I didn't quite leave enough material just on one of the toes, so it worked that out. But here's this idea of having a let's see, yeah, having a sort of the foot bean right in the middle, right there, and then the two front beans, and like I say, we might work out some solution here. But in theory, you could just, with this missing heel and things sort of lifted up a little bit, it's not like walking on high heels where it's right where you're having to stand on your tippy toes. We could just walk around normally, I hope, and fit a if we're very lucky. Let's see if we can put the no, that's the body. There's the not that one. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here. That one, yeah, okay. So move things around a little bit. But there you go. There's the full-on thing, and that's what we're trying to make eventually, if it's at all possible. And let's pause that again. Yeah, okay. There's a quick couple of minutes to say I'll be off on a little jolly through to just a moment. Oh my goodness, yeah. A quick little trip to Munich by train and bus. Let's see if we get this thing down. Yeah, there's a sort of Godot conference showing up. In Munich. This is like the schedule, various things. Maybe I should do some homework on this. Last year I gave a talk, a short talk at one. I haven't prepared any talks this time, but go along and see what I should be working on when I've been playing too much VR chat this year, which is not something I planned. I'll just give you a trip of where this trip's going. So I'm starting up here in Liverpool, heading down to London, and then catching a Eurostar to Paris, and then an overnight bus to Lucerne. Here we go. That'll arrive sometime the next day, lunchtime. Hang around for a couple of nights, seeing one of my VR chat buddies, whom I haven't seen in real life. I'm hoping that's kind of as weird as I hope it is. Then I'm going to go over to St. Gallen and somewhere where the heck that is. Where's St. Gallen? Yeah, over this side of Zurich. Whoops. Yeah, over this side of Zurich is another lake. There's St. Gallen. Yeah. Train over to there, stay another night there, maybe see another of my VR chat buddies if he can spare the time. And then from there off to Innsbruck. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There's Innsbruck. There we go. Another train in the morning to Innsbruck. There'll be 3 nights there to stay with Hoxie. And while there, he's going to drive me up to Linz for a Austrian Furry meetup. It's a long way to go. Then back here. And then I slip up to Munich, spend 3 days there. There's also some other kind of conference I'm supposed to be doing some VR at. I was going to try and be a sort of token furry to show them what they're missing if they don't use this part of VR, as I learnt only this year. And then from there, it's back to Brussels. Spend a couple of nights in Brussels visiting HSBXL and maybe one of my other big furry VR chat friends might let me put in a visit. It would be really nice if it did. That would make my day, really. And then we, whatever happens, we head back to London. And then from London, I go up to Coventry for the final night to go to some ZX Spectrum retro computer thingy game thing because of I've got to sign some posters or something because of a game I actually wrote in 1986 on the ZX Spectrum called Fat Worm Blows a Sparky. Obviously, some people have managed to find it and remember it. That'd be one thing I want to convert to VR one day. But this thing, live long and do a lot of weird things over a lot of years, I guess, and then it's home. So don't think I'll be able to post anything from here then, or even do much progress on the fursuit, but maybe some other things will happen that I can write up. So yeah, stop recording. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.